My name is Keith Thomas. I am from New York. I'm a Wall Streeter by background, spent a lot of time on the trading floors and also in private equity. EB5, I've been involved in for the better part of a decade. I opened the first Asian office for Live in America Regional Centers, another large regional center network, and managed the international relations for investors overseas. Traveled extensively through Asia, meeting investors through India, China, Vietnam, and Southeast Asia. And I'm a strong believer in this program. I think that it's a very fast and reliable way for investors to achieve their goals and bring their families to America to start their American experience. So I've worked with hundreds of investors in the past, and I found with EB5AN the most capable team that I've ever worked with, most intelligent and forward-thinking and protective team of their clients. Everybody has a lot of experience. We have a dedication to transparency. We'll give you the bad news along with the good news. And I think you can see by the vast amount of investor education videos that we have on the internet, this is serious dedication to education and information. For most investors, this is the biggest investment in their lives, both financially and personally. So this is something that we want to be sure investors are well informed about. Unlike a lot of other regional centers, EB5AN has many offerings. So we have different choices that investors can make based on their risk tolerance and what suits them best. We've got various different rural offerings as well as urban offerings, and each have advantages that are worth evaluating. There's no perfect fit for any one investor, so there's a scale, and we have projects at various points across that scale. So having been with EB5AN for a while now, I am really impressed with the founders. They have an amazing reputation in the industry, amazing backgrounds in private equity and financial consulting, and what that reflects in the type of evaluation that we do for our project selection. There's many projects that we evaluate and only select a few based on the very conservative risk that we're looking for. Every investment has to have some risk that's required by the program, but you don't have to have a lot of risk. And that's what our founders are dedicated to. I've never seen people this dedicated to ground up research. You know, they're on plans more often than they're not. And it reflects in our track record. You know, we have a perfect track record. Every project has performed. There's been an unfortunate number of low quality projects in the industry, and I think that's where Sam and Mike have lent a new level of confidence to the industry. We're not looking for flashy projects. We're looking for very safe, conservative immigration and financial projects that has allowed us to have a really stellar reputation both in the industry from investors and market professionals, attorneys, and like I said, we're not looking for flashy projects. We're looking to get investors their green card and get them their money back. Those are the priorities. Just to add to what Jordan said, you know, the RIA was a major revamp of the program, and it lent a lot of attention to urban rural projects. Previously, investors often felt safer in urban projects because as an overseas investor, you might not know about these urban rural settings, but you've heard of Miami, you've heard of New York. And there's kind of a pervasive misunderstanding that these are safer projects. You know, when rural investments came to light, EB5AN was in a particularly advantageous position because we had multiple offerings. And although the RIA has made these major improvements for the investors, I mean, EB5 is a better program, it's a safer program than before. You still have to evaluate the safety of each investment. And our experience with rural projects prior to the RIA also has given us a kind of an advantage in this current market. We're not rushing, like Brian said, to find a rural offering that can get you a quick green card. We've been evaluating these projects previously, and we've done rural projects. We have a lot of experience in these kind of planned communities. Yeah, to add to that, Mila, you know, EB5AN has a formula. We look for the lowest possible immigration risk, lowest possible financial risk, and our projects do look very similar in that there's a lot of collateral, there's a lot of investor safeties built in, and that's something that from the first to the last projects that we have on offer all kind of share the same attributes. Low risk. And tying what Amelia and Brian were saying, the investor is our client. We work for them. We don't work for the developer. We actually police them to make sure that we protect the investor's money and make sure that their projects perform. So the only duty we have is to the investor. The developer has to perform as they tell us they will, as they promise. Yeah, here at EB5AN, I feel like investors with questions are our favorite. You know, we like a lot of questions because we have a lot of great answers. And there might be different things that are important to each investor. I mean, they may want a big firm with a lot of experience in multi-platform investments, or they might want a boutique firm that might be a little more responsive or have a little bit of a better bedside manner. Like Brian said, you're with them for the long haul, so you want to make sure you're comfortable with their counsel. And we don't care. Just want to make sure that they have EB5 experience because, like Brian said, it's very niche. Not any immigration attorney can actually do EB5 capably. They might do L1s, they might do H1Bs, but you want somebody who specializes or has a lot of experience in EB5 because source of funds is a little bit more difficult than people usually give it its due. And the immigration attorney works for the investor. They don't work for us. They're independent, you know, but the thing I like about EB5AN is ask them what they think about us. They can't tell you where to invest, but they can certainly tell you what they've heard. And our reputation is excellent amongst attorneys. So there's a lot of EB5 attorneys in the market. There's literally hundreds that we work with. We are happy to give recommendations to investors on a couple of attorneys that might be in their area or might have special expertise, like Di said, about sources of funds from their particular country that maybe speak their language. But that's a decision that the investor has to make on their own based on their comfort level and their goals. If they're looking for somebody who might return a call the same day, maybe they like X attorney versus Y attorney that is a big corporate house. Each attorney has its own advantage, but you are working with them for a while. They're independent of us. We give them the information that they need to file your petitions, but they work for you, and that independence is important.